okay. But when you find someone like, Canelo or Golovkin, it's a different kettle of fish, I have to lean towards Canelo.
You're not going to beat Canelo until somehow over a long period of time Canelo beats himself.
Canelo fired back at Terence Crawford during the press event, asserting Crawford isn't on his level. He criticized fighters who merely try to last 12 rounds without offering an entertaining competitive bout. Canelo believes these cautious strategies produce dull fights that fail to excite fans. Kell Brook, who's fought elite opponents like Gennady Golovkin and Terence Crawford, issued a stern warning about Crawford's clash with Canelo Alvarez. Brook stressed that this upcoming fight is a unique challenge, quite different from Crawford's past bouts. Brook noted Canelo's style stands apart from previous foes. Unlike the shorter, speed-reliant Crawford, Canelo combines brute strength, sharp ring IQ, and flexible tactics that distinguish him.
It's a wow fight, it's two supreme athletes fighting against each other, but you've got to sway towards Canelo. Crawford's gonna have to move up, and I knew when I boxed Golovkin, there's a big difference, especially with someone that fighting a middleweight, a mediocre world champion's okay. But when you find someone like, Canelo or Golovkin, it's a different kettle of fish, I have to lean towards Canelo, but, Crawford's very, very, very good.
Do you think Crawford's still got the legs? Obviously, he's very much got great IQ in the ring.
Brook underlined how Canelo's in-ring adaptability and physical dominance create immense pressure. Battling someone as strong and dynamic as Canelo requires a different mental and physical approach. Brook stated this fight demands a new level of preparation. He firmly believes Canelo's approach is difficult to counter when it plays to his strengths. This message to Crawford was loud and clear. This opponent is nothing like anyone he has fought before.
He's still got the legs to be maybe outmoving Canelo if he needs to.
Well, I don't know, I think when we look back at Mayweather when he beat Canelo, he's a mover. Crawford's not really like Mayweather in that aspect. He's more, he kind of sets his feet and he's cute with how he approaches chucking shots and moving, I think it's a different fight to Mayweather, and Canelo's obviously a different fighter from when he boxed Mayweather. But like I say, it's one of them what we've got to tune into and watch. Both unbelievable fighters, but I'd have to favour Canelo. Just his size and his experience, and just his ring generalship, he's got confidence, he's big.
Veteran broadcaster Jim Lampley expressed strong faith in Canelo Alvarez's ability to defeat Terence Crawford. While Lampley acknowledged Crawford's talent and stellar record, he emphasized Canelo's combination of experience, toughness, and physical strength as key assets. Lampley argued Canelo's success against top-tier opponents across several divisions gives him a real advantage. His tactical awareness and ability to dictate distance and tempo make him hard to beat. Furthermore, Lampley mentioned that Canelo's defense and counterpunching could neutralize Crawford's offense. Lampley's overall assessment supports Canelo's well-rounded game despite Crawford's clear technical brilliance.
He's a great defender. He has the most solid punch resistance of anybody in the sport. Nobody's ever knocked him off balance. Nobody's ever really knocked him down. There's only one official knockdown in his career, and it was because he bounced off the ropes when Jose Cotto hit him with a hard shot to the chest. And the referee employed a strict interpretation of the rules and said, oh, the ropes held you up, so that's a knockdown. He's never been put on his back by anybody. He rides horseback every morning. His legs are the strongest in the sport. You're not going to beat Canelo until somehow over a long period of time Canelo beats himself. If he gets tired of all the discipline he has had to employ to make all the money he's made, if he has enough giant ranches in the Yucatan, if he has enough beautiful horses, if he has had enough unforgettable dinners with Mexican billionaires in Mexico City and Vegas, then maybe. But my guess is he will retire without incurring another loss, because it's important to him to do that.
Which implies you like him against Bud Crawford.
I do like him against Bud Crawford, but I do think that it's a great fight. Now, I could change my mind when we get closer. Bud Crawford, to me, is a latter-day Sugar Ray Robinson. He has the multiple skills of Sugar Ray Robinson. He can defend or attack. He has a deep inner mean streak that he can employ at any moment in a fight to get what he wants. Before the fight against, help me out here,
Madrimov was his last fight. Spence?
Spence.
Yes.
Before the fight against Errol Spence, there were quite a lot of people in the sport, in boxing media, who were saying, I like Spence to win the fight. I was one of those people who said, no way. Errol Spence doesn't have the depth.
Terence Crawford's resume clearly reflects his achievements and elite boxing ability. He's shown outstanding skills, punching power, and tactical versatility over the years. Still, there's a disconnect in how the public sees him. Though boxing, experts praise his technical mastery and tactical intelligence. Casual fans often favor more aggressive and flashy fighters. Crawford's style blends defense, counterpunching, and deliberate pressure in a calculated way. While this method is undeniably effective, critics say it lacks drama and intensity. As a result, many casual viewers fail to fully recognize Crawford's extraordinary skill set inside the ring.
He has been walking down his fighters, and people don't see that but me. For some reason, when I had that tape, people were screaming cat. And it's like David Evanesian, Errol Spence, Sean Porter, Gamboa, a Mean Machine. Even against Madrimov, the way he won the fight was by fighting. It wasn't Floyd Mayweather sticking. This guy has been too athletically gifted, and I mean explosive, hard punching, and too strong for his ops. When he's in orthodox, he boxes more. When he switches, he becomes a puncher. And now he's coming out southpaw. He ends you. He is not, you gotta watch him fight. He does do athletic things where his hands and his feet work together and he catches you for sure. But what he mostly do is he punishes and he bullies his op, because he walks you down and whips your ass. He's an ass whip.
Boxing trainer Bomac takes a contrasting stance, acknowledging Canelo's strengths but arguing Crawford's technical edge gives him the upper hand. According to Bomac, while Canelo is a world-class fighter, Crawford's sharp timing, footwork, and ring smarts provide a crucial advantage. Bomac highlighted Crawford's focused mindset and preparation leading into this high-stakes bout. He noted Crawford's mental clarity and consistency make him a dangerous tactician. Canelo's physical power is respected, but Bomac feels Crawford's intelligence and strategic control could be decisive, especially if he executes his plan effectively. This points to a cerebral showdown rather than just brute force.
Fight with Canelo Alvarez. It was interesting to see the comments from Canelo and how he sort of assessed Bud Crawford's career. I almost feel after the Spence fight that was like an exclamation point on everything he's done, maybe from the critics who never gave him credit, but it almost seems like Canelo was downplaying his achievements. What do you make of that? Is that to build a fight? Because it sells itself.
Well, I'm gonna tell you like this. I think Crawford rebuttal was everybody always say he hasn't fought nobody, or no everybody that he fought was a no name. But I'm gonna tell you like this, what Crawford said. Well, they was something until Crawford fought him. So obviously he's doing a great job because he's making everybody look normal.
Not everyone, like when they go against Canelo, I don't think there's anyone else in boxing who you would ask and say this is a possible task for, but for Crawford, because of his pound for pound abilities, and apparently no rehydration clause. Am I hearing that right? He wants full smoke at that weight.
Let's go, man. That's what Crawford wants. He wants to show the world that he's the best. So And why put stipulations in there when you know that you can be the best? So let's go test ourselves.
Look, I appreciate you taking this time, and we don't get to speak all the time, so it's good to get you over here, and maybe we'll catch up later in fight week, but I appreciate you. Thank you.
All right.
Canelo Alvarez's business manager, known for guiding one of boxing's richest careers, made bold remarks ahead of the Crawford fight. He stated that Canelo's body is physically built to absorb damage and avoid injuries. This trait, he claimed, gives Canelo a serious edge over most competitors in the sport.
I hope that Crawford didn't get any ideas from Skull. I don't think he did. I think Crawford is a hell of a fighter, and it's going to be a hell of a fight.
How does weight play a part in that fight?
Oh, what?
How does weight play a part in that fight, do you feel?
Weight?
Weight. The size difference.
Oh, no, I don't think that, that doesn't, like you saw today, the guy was like, I don't know how much taller. It didn't really play into it either. But Crawford is a hell of a fighter. And you saw today when they did the face-off in the ring, they're virtually height-wise, they are virtually the same. Crawford might even be a little bit taller. But when you look at Canelo, the way he's built, his legs, his shoulders, his neck, that is why he's never been hurt. And he's never been hurt fighting fighters at a substantially higher weight, substantially bigger than him, and they still couldn't hurt him.
Yeah.
And then you look at Crawford, who is a smaller guy, is moving up 2 weight classes, tried at 154, barely won, couldn't hurt Madrimov, and now he's going to go against the guy with the best chin in the sport. That's why probably odds maker have Canelo as a favorite. But having said all of that, Crawford is just a hell of a fighter. I was there when he fought, I was ringside when he fought Spence.
The manager explained that Canelo's physical conditioning, muscle build, and sharp defense have kept him safe, even against punchers. This toughness is expected to be a major asset against Crawford, who is smaller and less physically dominant. He also pointed to Crawford's recent fights, using them to argue that Crawford may not have the strength required to overcome Canelo's durability and frame.
The way he just totally neutralized Spence's strengths was absolutely... It was breathtaking to watch this. So Crawford is a very skilled fighter, very smart fighter, but again, he's never fought anybody like Canelo. You look at Canelo's resume. Canelo fought, now it's 21 former or current world champions. There's only 2 fighters in the history of boxing who have more than that. One of them is Floyd Mayweather with 24, and the other one is Manny Pacquiao with 23. And he's the only active fighter who fought so many world champions. So I think experience will play a big factor as well. You look at Canelo's resume, but it is, I think, the biggest fight that can be made. I think it's the biggest fight the sport has seen going back to as long as I can remember. I think it's just simple. And I've done some big fights with Floyd Mayweather, and I did Floyd Mayweather and Canelo. I promoted that, so I think this one is bigger than that.
Experts widely agree that Terence Crawford is an elite-level boxer with remarkable skills and fight IQ. However, moving up in weight to fight someone like Canelo poses serious difficulties. Canelo is considered among the greatest pound-for-pound fighters in history. Analysts predict Crawford will stick with his usual plan rather than overhaul his strategy, especially with the weight jump involved. Changing his approach now would carry big risks. Crawford's style relies on timing, defense, and patience, which he'll probably maintain. Adapting to a new division against a bigger, more experienced opponent like Canelo creates a tactical puzzle. Success may depend on staying disciplined and sharp.
How is Terence Crawford going to beat Canelo Alvarez? We need to talk about it. When we look at the guys who've had success with Canelo, we'll look at Bivol, we'll look at Golovkin, we'll look at Floyd, and we'll look at Lara. Yes, I'll throw Lara in there, why not? I think all these fights are absolutely irrelevant coming into this bout. Some of them are just dated, or some of these guys' style just cannot apply. For example, a guy in Lara. If Crawford wanted to fight how Lara fought Canelo, he would probably gas out in 7 rounds, or if he made it 12, he just wouldn't get that decision. It's that simple. Let's take a guy in Golovkin. Crawford just simply does not have the punching power, nor do I think he has the gas tank at 68. He's not a good enough puncher to try to fight Canelo like Golovkin. He doesn't have the physical traits, even in the chin department. Then you have Floyd Mayweather. Well, both can have a bit of similarities. The speed, reflexes, technical prowess, IQ, timing, counterpunching, lateral movement. It's just too much from Floyd. I don't think Bud could take much from Floyd's game plan to implement it into his own success in September. And then you have Dimitri. The speed, the technical prowess, the IQ, the length is too much. So essentially, Terence Crawford is going to have to beat Canelo in a way that nobody has ever beaten him or gave him any issues in. I'm going to tell you exactly how Crawford's going to fight. He's going to fight like his damn self. It's too late in his career to change up the game plan. It's too late in his career for him to want to change up the game plan, come into a fight of this magnitude with a style he's never fought before. That will be a recipe for disaster. He's going to be more than likely off the back foot. He's going to be looking for counter shots. And I think there will be a point in this fight where he's simply just trying to survive. I like Crawford. He's an amazing pound for pound fighter. A different animal at 168. This is one of the greatest of all time. I see win scenarios for him, but I don't see him being realistic. I can see him fighting off the back foot, using his speed, timing, and feet to stay away from Canelo. But that's very, very, very unlikely, damn near impossible.
Rising boxer and commentator Nico Ali Walsh offered insight into the matchup, calling it extremely close. Walsh pointed out that Crawford's recent sparring with heavyweights shows his comfort dealing with bigger fighters. This suggests he's been preparing for Canelo's size and strength through intense training. Walsh sees this as a major factor that could shift the fight in Crawford's favor. His take adds an extra layer to the conversation. Crawford's camp appears to have taken weight differences seriously. Walsh ultimately labeled it a 50-50 fight, with either boxer capable of winning. The balance of strengths makes this a thrilling and unpredictable showdown.
Of Canelo's team. Canelo's one of my favorite fighters. He's been my favorite fighter for the longest time. But you know, I have to be Team Bud because me and Bud are cool, and I have so much belief in Bud, and I know who he is as a fighter. He is one of the greats. So he could do anything he wants.
And being around both of them and seeing how they work and train and things like that, what makes both of them the fighters they are, in your opinion?
I've watched Bud, so for Bud in particular, he's calm in everything he does, and that kind of calm is scary to watch because it shows experience. You can see that he's been doing this for decades. You can see it with his shadow boxing.
Veteran trainer Teddy Atlas gave a fair take on the Canelo-Crawford fight. He acknowledged Canelo's edge in size, strength, and physical power, all vital in the ring. But he also praised Crawford's superior technique, sharp reflexes, and mental sharpness. Atlas described the clash as a classic battle of styles, pitting brute force against technical brilliance. He believes both fighters bring enough to tip the balance in their favor. Execution on the night will be everything. If either can carry out their plan flawlessly, they'll likely win. Atlas concluded the bout is a true 50-50 matchup with legitimate reasons to back either side.
Well, come on, he's human. So he had a few hiccups. He won the fight. He's Terence Crawford. A lot of people say, "Oh, Teddy, you make him so good. You're always saying how great Crawford is." But who's he beating? He unified the what was his first division? Lightweight. Then he unified the junior. Then he unified the junior welter. Then he unified the welter. I think I got the weight classes right. It doesn't matter. He unified like 3 different weight classes. He moved up in weight. Guys are tired of me saying it. I look at him. Look, Canelo's special too. I get it, and he's bigger. I get that too. And everyone's gonna say, "Well, after Madrimov fight again, had a couple hiccups. Now he's stepping up another weight class. Now he's got to fight Canelo, who's even bigger, stronger, better puncher. A unified champion that he's been. All of that stuff. he's not going to be able to handle it. I asked this question. See, I go to the other side. I say, okay, yeah, can Canelo handle the smaller guy who's going to be faster, who's going to be slicker, who's going to be better defensively, who's going to have better legs, who's going to be able, sometimes Canelo at this point in his career can slow down a little bit. They're both getting older. I get it.
That wraps up today's breakdown. Be sure to stay tuned for more.